Hey y'all. You know what time it is? Get into. Okay, so today's gonna be a little different story time today because today is Pride Month! Yes, it is the first day of LGBTQIA plus awareness month. June is Pride Month. This is a celebration of people of different identities, different sexualities, different means of just being the best version of themselves. And I love Pride Month. It's June. Um, it's hot, it's warm. You get everybody out and about outside. And just to see beautiful people just be themselves in their own environment without being hindered by the prejudices of other people. And let me tell you something before I start with my little special presentation that we got going on over here. The reason why Pride exists is because there are still children in this world who believe that the world will be better without them in it because of the fact that they are either gay, bisexual, trans, non binary, lesbian, pansexual, or asexual. That's a problem. No kid should ever have to be made to feel like, or be made to feel like that their identity is demonized in such a way that the world will be better without them here. That is incredibly sad. And as someone who is a proud black, non binary, gay individual, I definitely have had my ups and downs in my coming out process when I was very young. I came out when I was 14. Unfortunately, I was outed in some cases by family members, two of which I don't speak to, but that is my own choice and my own prerogative. But that, what I'm saying is that I speak my truth and my story, and I unapologetically portray myself as the honest version of myself, because you don't know what type of impact that does for somebody. You don't know that there may be a kid who may see this video or an adult who may see this video and be like, you know, I want to be that happy. I want to be that free and to be able to be open and honest with who I really am. Pride is not in any way, shape, or form exclusionary to any group. If you claim to be a straight ally or an ally of the community in general, we welcome you. We embrace that. We live for that. We celebrate that. Pride is about inclusion. All we are asking is that we wish to be seen and included and not be made to feel demonized or put on the back burner. Everybody's included in this conversation. In the past years, and I mean years ago, I used to walk in Columbus Pride Parade and Dayton Pride. Columbus Pride 3 times, Dayton Pride twice. Um, and I do so proudly because there were so many men and women who died, who have lost their jobs, who've lost their families, who have been taken by unfortunate terminal disease, just so I can sit here and be unapologetically myself. And I give respect to that. I give love to that. There's so many black, queer, gay, lesbian people that have made the ultimate sacrifice. One person who immediately comes to mind is James Baldwin. James Baldwin was a very proud, out gay man who spoke for black and brown civil rights, but also spoke and championed for the liberation of the LGBTQI community. Sylvester is another person that comes to mind, who was an incredible disco queen and literally elevated the genre of what it meant to be a part of disco and pop music and putting a face to that. Um, th- there's just so many good, positive things that the LGBT community has done. It just becomes more difficult when there are people who don't know, who don't educate themselves, who have never actually had a conversation with someone within the community that builds prejudice and disdain and demonizes a group of people that they don't know anything about. I've always kept the golden rule: treat others in the way that you would like to be treated. That's how I live my life. I can't give that to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't force you to think the way that I do. What I can do, in the words of Mother Teresa, you can never do great things, but you can do small things with great love. That's what I'm trying to do. It's called growth, okay? And I'm trying to grow and help not only people through my words and my speech, but through my actions. Let my actions speak louder for themselves. Let me show you that I am better than what you perceive me to be. Because I tell anybody knows me at Ellie's knows I've said this several times. It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. People gonna talk about you to the day you die. It's what you answer to. You don't have to validate or give in to the negative reproachfulness of people who are just miserable. So while they over here being miserable during this Pride Month, we gonna be over here having a good time, celebrating good, worthwhile people, just having fun and just being themselves, bringing awareness, putting a face to a name with these different identities and these different communities within communities. So I say this proudly and boldly to all my LGBTQIA plus brothers and sisters. I love you from the bottom of my heart. For all my LGBTQIA black and brown brothers and sisters, both cisgendered and trans or non-binary or queer or gay or lesbian, I love you. You are seen. You are valid. You have purpose in this world, and you make this world a better place by being in it. A lot of people tend to forget some of the greatest fashion designers, some of the greatest music artists are a part of this community. Just say, get into it. Now, if you all remember a while ago, for Pride Month, I'd read a very lovely story called The Prince and the Knight. So now I come to you with the sequel to that story. Tale of the Shadow King, Prince and Knight. Because as I've always been taught in many a fairy tale, love conquereth all, no matter what form it takes. As I've always said, as long as you are not harming men, women, children, or animals, I don't have a problem. I don't. I feel like everybody should be able to live their best truth as long as you're not harming good people. And there's no harm in just going out and about and just being yourself. The harm I'm speaking of is emotional and physical harm. We don't tolerate that in this house. Oh, another great example of dispelling prejudice and hatefulness. I'm about to drop some facts on you real quick before I start reading. Anybody knows me well enough, Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite movies of all time. It came out in 1991 and it was the first and for a long time the only animated film to ever be nominated for Best Picture category at the Oscars, when they had only 5 nominees in the category, so it was like super stringent. Whereas now, I think they have like at least 8 different nominees for the category. Double check my facts on that. Anyway, fun fact, there is a wonderful gentleman named Howard Ashman and Alan Menken. Specifically, Howard Ashman was incredibly integral in making the Disney Renaissance, meaning from 1989 to 1999. All of those periods of films would not be possible without the efforts of Howard Ashman and his great gift. And Beauty and the Beast is a very important film because a lot of Disney, any of the real Disney fans know this fact, is that Howard Ashman was a man living with HIV and made incredible strides to bring about wonderful storytelling and beautiful music and amazing lyrics. It's because of Howard Ashman that we have all of these amazing songs from The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast. But unfortunately, due to his terminal form of HIV, which is AIDS, he was not able to see the fruition of the success of Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. And I have immense respect for Howard Ashman because he was unapologetically himself. I have immense respect for Disney at the time during his final weeks on this earth, where they moved the animation department into his apartment in New York so that he could be able to be in the full extent of the process of the filmmaking and of the music aspect. And Beauty and the Beast is kind of like I'm not going to say allegorical because I don't think that's the word I'm going to be using. It is definitely a it is definitely believed, and I'm trying to get my words together. It's definitely believed that it is a story that is more so about the beast is a representation of a person living with HIV. And the fact that Belle comes in, and despite the ugliness of what he lives with and how it has isolated him from people, she is able to love him despite his flaws, despite his condition, despite his curse. And she's able to see the beauty of who he always has been. A lot of people can learn something from that. No matter how old you are always able to learn. Always able to learn something new. I'm always learning something new. So you can go and look that up, because these are all facts. Howard Ashman, I think if he was still alive, which also, fun fact, Howard Ashman made Little Shop of Horrors. Fun fact, it's one of my favorite musicals. And two of Tashina Arnold and Tisha Campbell were in the original cast of the Little Shop of Horrors Broadway musical, and they were in the film version by directed by Frank Oz. Fun fact. Yeah, gotta give it up to our LGBT brothers and sisters, because they've made some incredible, beautiful art that a lot of people don't realize that they had a hand in. The more you know. But you didn't come to hear me gab. You came to hear a story. We are about to get into the tale of the Shadow King. Written by Daniel Hack and pictures by Stevie Lewis. Have you heard the thrilling tale of the prince and his dear knight? Their love for one another inspired everyone in sight. The sun shined on their union as it beamed as they were crowned. The whole realm felt its warmth from the treetops down. Yes, look at all the people. All the different kinds of people that live in this kingdom. Yeah. Yet while their kingdom prospered and grew under their care, a fog of darkness spread, sending chills throughout the air. Hold on 1 second, because I'm getting way too much light. There we go. Now we can see me at least. It started with just a wisp that slowly veiled the sky, but when daylight did not return, the prince and knight could not stand by. The shadow has destroyed our crops, and we're starving from this blight. The prince said to his husband, "We must face this threat tonight." Poor farmers. Journey deep into the darkness, said the kingdom's wise old sage. There you'll find the Shadow King. His soul is filled with rage. Some people say he's evil, so heed their words of advice. Be careful if you meet him, or you will surely pay the price. Gotta have a wise woman in your midst, because they know what they're talking about. Shout out to all the women in our lives that give us amazing advice. So the prince and knight set off, their warriors by their side, trudging through the wilderness with flaming torches as their guide. They found the king's foul fortress, past a wide and rushing river. "Let's be careful as we cross," said the knight with quite a shiver. They jumped from rock to rock, but before they reached the shore, monsters thundered toward them. The troop was now at war. It took all their strength to fight them until there was one last beast. It started racing at the prince. It was looking for a feast. The knight blocked the villain's path and knocked it to the side, but the knight had lost his footing and he fell into the tide. The prince quickly dove right in to save the knight before he drowned. He swam with speed and pulled him out. His one true love was safe and found. That's why it pays to learn how to swim, y'all. That's why it pays to learn how to swim. The knight kissed the prince and said, "You put your life on the line." "As you did for me," said the prince. "I know you'll always be mine." The Shadow King was watching. He fell down to his knees. "I wish to end this darkness. Don't hurt me. I beg you, please." So something doesn't seem right. We're supposed to believe he's the villain. So why is he surrendering? "I used to be so happy," he said, as a tear streamed down his cheek. "But soon the world turned against me for the way I dress and speak. Because I loved a squire, I was banished to the dark. As the sadness grew inside me, I felt these powers spark." And to be honest, his outfit is pretty dope. It's pretty fly. You know, people and their prejudices can't allow people to just be themselves. It's okay. You can be yourself. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, okay? "It's unfair how you were treated," the humble knight replied. "Our differences make us unique. Let's celebrate them with pride. I'm sorry you've been told these things should cause you worry and shame. Like the colors of the rainbow, I'm glad we're not all the same." It's okay to be different, kids. It's okay. You see? He doesn't even know this person. And the fact that he is showing him kindness is a beautiful thing. Because kindness is free, y'all. Love is free. Compassion is free. "I believe I wasn't worthy," the king said to the men. "But when I see the love you share, I'm filled with hope again." It was the first time in so long the king had felt this warmth. Light radiated around him. He felt himself transformed. "Would you like to come with us?" the prince asked, and took his hand. And with this loving touch, sunlight spread across the land. There we go. Seeing me over the top of the book. He was welcomed to their home and built his own family. How wonderful it is, he cried, when I can truly be me. That's all we want, is just for people to be happy. For people to just live their best life and be happy. Look at that. Somebody truly able to just be happy. And that is the end of this tale. The tale of the Shadow King. Which I know somebody's going to be very surprised when I say this. Anybody recognize this book? Huh? Frog and Toad? Fun fact, and this is a fact. Frog and Toad were originally a very subtle way of teaching children the fact that these two characters, they're more than just friends. They're a couple. Yes. Yes. And I used to read Frog and Toad when I was a child. And I loved the story. Never connected that part to it at all. And honestly, it's not even necessary. But I dabble in facts. And these characters are a part of Pride Month. And we celebrate that. Let me see what else I have in here. Oh, phooey, I did not bring that book out of the case. Oh well, that's fine. I do all this and say all this, y'all, just to really emphasize that it's okay to be yourself. You don't have to be like everybody else. My mother always said to me, you strive to be different. She was saying it to me. You strive to be different. And I did, inadvertently as a child, because I didn't want to be like everybody else. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be the fullest version of myself. And that didn't come easily. I did not get to this level of confidence and love and self-love easily. It was our highs and lows. I'm somebody who lives with severe depression and anxiety. But I still embrace life because life is beautiful. Straight or gay. Black or white. Tall or short. Stocky or skinny. Light and darkness. Good and evil. We can all work together to make beautiful things happen. We don't always have to be antagonistic to each other. It's okay to be different. When we realize that life is made more magical with the differences that we do have. Happy Pride Month, y'all. I will see y'all next time on my favorite day of the week.